maybe? It's like, I'm not seeing where it's tied to the account. Or you want my socks. Just a few days, but it's a bit. I mean, it was like largely AI, but I still had to do so much photoshopping and like kind of customization to each one. So it just took a lot of time. Um, but it was fun, and I feel like now we're still getting like so much use out of it because we use it for our ad roll, we use it for like digital dispatch, so it's kind of fun. Let's see here. Check other feeds just to make sure. Yay. Yep, so we're on the BGG kit, but for some reason, I do not know why, I cannot seem to get it to come up in Destiny's like channel list. No, like the actual little channel list. Like the only three I see are his Kick, his YouTube, and XQC skip. So like we're supposed to pop up there, but I think we need like a certain amount of viewership before it does. But even when we hit that, I haven't seen it, so I don't know. We'll look that up at some point, but that's neither here nor there. I'm sorry to talk shop on thread, whatever. Let's see. Okay, let's oh, oh, let's switch this up. All right.
There we go.
Cool.
Good to go now?
Good to go. And let me get my
All right.
timers ready for you. Oh, bless you.
Let's go. Welcome one and all to debate night. This will be a little different. This is after hours. We're doing auditions for tournament starting next week. Auditions are optional, but always encouraged. Uh, we're looking to make a 16 debater bracket system, which I will post the form in side chat. So if you're interested in participating, there are the signups. Um, Tonight we're looking for debaters. Do a little audition, kind of a king of the hill format where we'll have a topic, bring up two people, they'll fight on it for a little bit, and then have the audience vote for who they want to stay on for this first topic. And if you're not interested in debating in the tournament, come up anyhow. Okay, we always need to try out our contestants. So this first one: who should determine what counts as misinformation, platforms or governments? We'll see. Give a little minutes for people to read and make up their mind if they want to come up. What do you think, Sophie? Any starting thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it's tricky. I feel like this is a excellent segue from the really wonderful debate between Castello and Casual last week about who should control AI. Should it be big tech or the government? Um, I feel like given that Casual was the winner, it sounded like he he won on strength of not just government, but like benevolent governments. So, given that we're kind of in a tumultuous um, administration right now, perhaps they wouldn't be the best stewards of our um communications platforms and what would be deemed as miscommunication or misinformation. So, yeah, I'm just gonna agree. What's up, scary? Unscary? South Squad in the house? But yeah, I'm gonna agree. I
True.
think like, I'd rather it be a publicly controlled determination, but
Mm,
the fact that if that were to happen today, where the government would be the ones who deemed certain publications or institutions to be fake news or not, yeah, I don't think I would trust that. In fact, I'll give you a really good example if we have a second, if people are still popping up. But the
yeah. One second.
Southern Poverty.
If anyone's
Oh, so
interested
sorry.
in debating this topic of who should determine what counts as misinformation, platforms or governments, if you right click on your name, you can say invite to speak and we can bring you up to the stage to chat. But yeah,
Yeah,
continue
come on
on.
up. Yeah, if you want to stop me yapping, this is your chance. But the Southern Poverty Law Center is an organization that uh fights against like the KKK and neo-Nazi
Oh, yeah,
organizations
yeah.
and things like that. And they're amazing. And so just the other day, our DOJ,
Looks like we got
Donald
someone.
Trump's DOJ, announced that they are going to start an investigation on them because they found that they were committing bank fraud and that they were actually funding the
Dude.
KKK, right?
Uh-huh.
So I'm like, "Oh, snap. That's a crazy allegation, right?" But given that it's this administration, I'm immediately like, "Bullshit alert, red flags all
True, true.
day. Like, I don't think this is what they're trying to tell us it is." Sure enough, what they're citing as them funding the KKK is their payments to their informants from the
Yeah, yeah.
KKK. And
Absolutely
so
crazy.
it's absolutely crazy, and then they're trying to say it's bank fraud because, of course, they couldn't pay these informants from the Southern Poverty Law Center fucking account, so they made,
Yeah, yeah.
like, kinda dummy organizations or whatever. So,
All right.
just the sheer audacity
Stoner. Yeah, yeah.
to try
Stoner.
and
What's your take?
reframe this shit that way is beyond me, but it just lends to, I think, more maybe
There's
Costello's argument that, the organizations who are responsible for the communications platforms themselves perhaps should be the better stewards when the government's,
Yeah.
um, eh,
Stoner.
ability to
We have
control that
someone.
the
would fail.
What's your take
But
on
yeah,
this topic, Stoner?
Don, what's up?
it I in ideal like in an ideal world I picture it being like something like the old like where the FBI would investigate the president and the FBI were kind of separate entities and there would be like a real separation between those two but like an independent like source. The
Mm,
thing about it is you end up with something like NPR, where it's just news and nobody watches it seriously. Uh, and yeah, you just uh,
all right. What's your take on the
the truth is like not as interesting as whatever the hell they made up.
what's your take on who should determine what counts as misinformation, platforms or governments? What's your take?
Um, I'm gonna side with governments,
Okay.
but only slightly.
All right. One second.
Uh,
I'll
only
let you get into
slightly.
that. But does anyone take the other side? Does anyone believe that platforms should count what misinformation is? Uh, we'll see this guy on God.
Yeah,
Do you
hello.
believe? Do you believe the other side of it? That platforms
I do.
should.
I think it should be platforms. Like
All
private
right.
entities should be able to determine what they think is misinformation on their own
All right.
platforms.
I'll let Stoner start.
On God.
What's your you take that the government should? What's your position? Or like why is that? Expand upon it.
Oh, why I think the government should because whenever you give a platform, the like ability to decide what is information, what's misinformation, you end up messing. There's like a perverse incentive whenever it comes to that. Like these companies are incentivized to make shit up, about their products and the things that they sell, and sometimes they just sell rage. So uh, it's the same thing with like the recent like the presidential race and everything. We give so much of our time to Trump, okay, because he is liquid rage bait. All right. He just is, he's gonna piss everybody off, and he sucks all the air out of a room. Uh whereas I feel like if the government came through and like one by one, every lie that he said, either
Mhm.
like counted them or like, fact checked them in the moment. Um, I don't think he would have as much ability to like spread misinformation. But I don't trust a
Right.
platform to do
Yeah, yeah.
something like that.
All right. We'll be starting a 10-minute timer. After this 10 minutes, we'll be going to side chat to see who stays on this topic. But yeah, on God. What do you think of that take?
I think, frankly, it's almost un-American. The idea that the government should be telling us what we should be seeing, what information should be put out there. I don't think this is what the founders would have wanted. I don't think that, frankly, this is what most Americans want now. Um, I think that private individuals and private institutions should be able to determine what they think is misinformation or otherwise. We have more knowledge we have more knowledge available at our fingertips literally right now than ever before in the history of humankind. I
Mm.
think that people who are serious about the truth will be able to go through and find out what is misinformation and otherwise. If someone isn't that serious about the truth, they're probably not going to look into it, and they probably will just accept whatever comes across to them, whether it's misinformation, information, whatever. That's why, and with that, the incentive lies not with the government, though, it lies with private companies. Private companies, if they can ensure a safer platform, more informed platform, they will likely get more traffic. They'll get more people coming to their site because I know that I can reliably get information from them. Like Ground News. Ground News has popped up like over the past 3 years, and they've been
Yeah.
doing wildly successful.
Hmm.
Not sponsored.
I was ready for an ad read. The way you like worked into that, I've been just like
You
so
sure
corrupted by
could.
YouTube. I'm just like ground news. If you go and use my discount code.
Groundnews.com/rationality. Yeah, there you go.
But yeah, you guys did both did a little opening. Go at it. Open discussion. What do you think, Stoner?
I would say that we can look at like ground news and they're pretty good. Uh, but I'm of the mind that like we are not exactly truth seeking beings. We do not like look for the truth in news. We don't look for the truth in information. In fact, there are several different ways that you can frame information to fit your own beliefs. And this goes all the way like to Chat GPT. I mean, if you ask Chat GPT a leading question, then it's going to try and give you the answer that it thinks is going to satisfy you.
Yeah.
But like whenever it comes to like these platforms, um, I think they've done a very, very poor job of combating misinformation thus far, and it's only really served to uh, like inflame a lot of the beliefs that people have about like everything from COVID to like whether the election was won. I mean, and I feel like they are mainly responsible for this. Like they are responsible for the situation that we're in right now, even though like they did try to take measures to curb it and
And you're
everything.
going to trust the
But
Trump
they
administration with this?
they won't curb it if like curbing it curbs like engagement on the platform.
Yeah, like,
Trump
and you're gonna trust the Trump
Trump
administration.
Trump is a special case. Like
No, he's not.
and to be honest, he's already tried.
No, no,
Like
no. He's not a special case. Like anyone like Trump could come in the next 8 years, even
yeah, but
assuming
he's
Trump leaves
he's
And
office.
Junior.
Yeah.
Okay.
he's he's actively trying to censor a lot of shit right now, and he can't. Like
He can.
like not not effectively.
Have
Like
you
Okay,
heard
go on,
anything
go
out
on.
of
you can
Minneapolis
do
in the
you
past
can get
few
rid of
weeks?
Colbert, and you can you can try and get him to fire Jimmy Kimmel, and you can try to censor like a police
Let's
shooting or ICE
one second,
shooting.
one
You
second.
can try
Let's
and
ask
frame it in a
one
way
sec.
that
Stoner, one sec. Let's ask on God. What's your strongest piece of evidence that he is censoring? Go for it.
The strongest piece of evidence is around ICE. The or even the Epstein files. When you look at what's happening, what the Trump administration does, they don't censor in the typical way that we would think, where we think of government agents, contacting an agency and be like, "Don't cover this," or else XYZ, some sort of blackmail. What it tends to be is what I will call distraction censorship. Distraction censorship is when you do something extraordinarily outlandish in order to prevent people from looking at what they were looking at. You're essentially censoring it because a news agency is going to pick up what's new and what's hot. That's what they do.
Right.
Old
Stoner, what's your
news
take on
doesn't
that?
sell. News shows does.
is it
But so
isn't
that's the
that
kind of
like
censorship I'm talking about.
Yeah.
but isn't that an argument against having platforms do it if like the only thing that they farm is rage?
They're not
Like
farming rage. It's new news. It's
it's
news.
it's news, but it's rage bait is what it is.
It's not
Like
rage bait.
you put out a bigger story to suppress the previous story, correct?
No. That's not the goal of the news organization. The goal of the news
I know.
organization to get as much news out as possible. But what the Trump administration is doing is pumping out so much more news that what happened 2 weeks ago doesn't matter. That's why Trump says, give
Yeah,
it two
well,
weeks. Give it 2 weeks.
I'm
Because the news cycle
I'm
changes every 2 weeks.
I'm telling you, they farm engagement. Okay, like
The farming.
they want you
Kiwi
to
Farms.
engage. They want you to comment, like, and subscribe. They want you to buy their subscription
How
services
do they do that?
by putting out even more and more like
News,
outrageous shit
information.
all the time.
No, it's not outrageous shit. Like CNN, for example. Do you think that like CNN is more focused on making rage bait or providing news to people?
Rage bait.
You think it's rage bait. Okay.
Yeah.
Can you give me an example in the past 4 months that you think CNN has done like more like even just one article of rage bait that wasn't an opinion piece, like a proper piece written by CNN that was past as fact that you think was rage bait?
It doesn't need to be explicit, okay? It can just be the news, but the news can be rage bait. Like
Almost like
you
what
will
happens in
see
this country is infuriating to some people. Yeah, like
it,
going after
it is.
Mexicans is
It
pretty
is.
infuriating. Yeah, it's not their
It
fault though.
is.
That's not rage
But
bait. That's just how the news is.
I don't trust Facebook to like put that information out there. And I mean,
And I don't trust our government to.
you talk about CNN and everything. That's a news station and
That's a
everything. But
private
most people don't
network.
get their news from like these places. I don't
Yes, they
believe
do.
that's
Wait,
still the case today.
if you don't think that most people get their information from legacy media like CNN, Fox News, MSNBC, I don't know what to tell you. Like usually it's through an indirect source. Like for example, if it's from a local station that runs through them, right? CNN 10 is really popular where I'm from. Fox 13 is popular also where I'm at, right? Like there's a lot of local
Well,
stations and people rely on those
that's
local stations, but they're
yeah, those are
all
local.
relayed by Fox News or CNN or whoever else.
2
Yeah,
minutes left. 2 minutes.
that's local though. Like, and to be honest, what have they done to actually stop misinformation from getting out there in the first place? And keep in mind that a lie travels around the world before the truth gets its shoes on.
Hold on, you
Okay,
haven't even given an argument for the government should yet. Right now, we've been talking about private corporations. You're talking about how bad that system is. Meanwhile, you want a monopoly on information from the government. That would be essentially what you're saying. You're saying the scary
but
part in really quiet, polite tone. Like
what I'm
it's a monopoly on information you'd be giving to the Trump administration, for example, which tried to censor the Alex Preddy shooting by saying that it was entirely justified.
excuse me, I didn't say give the Trump administration a thing. I said that this like this combating of misinformation should be separate from the presidency. It
Why is that?
should be separate from political like machinations.
So who would
Okay.
do it? The FBI, the one that Trump has been politically,
No,
essentially
I think it would have to be something
sicking people
wholly
on.
new. I think we live in a new age, and it requires new
So who?
ideas and new departments
Who?
and new
The
ways
Ministry
of
of
thinking.
Truth? You want a Department of Truth for the United States of
The
America?
the Department of Truth, like
Yeah.
yeah, the Department of Truth, in as it is like described in the 1984, is they kind of like suppress all other forms of entertainment in that in
Huh.
that in that book, don't they? Right?
Yeah. Sounds about right.
Right?
Yeah, because it was misinformation. It was Big Brother was the truth teller, and then these other guys were not truth tellers.
Those other guys didn't even get to say what they was on. They didn't even get to say anything.
Yeah, they did,
They got
and it was
thrown it.
misinformation.
All
They got
right.
thrown in the back of a
That
van.
is
Okay,
time.
like
All right. Throw into side chat to see who they want, Stoner or On God. Back to the 2 messages I put in side chat, and we'll see who chat wants to keep on. Likewise, I'll post a link for there's a debate night signups in side chat. Oh, I guess never mind. We have a poll. Oh my gosh, so much more official than using emotes. But yeah,
We saw what happened last week with the emotes, y'all.
true.
Fool us
the
once, shame
fullest
on
ones. You're
you.
right. You're right.
You fool me once, can't get fooled again. Okay. All right.
True. Fool me a third time. That's on me. Okay. I should have known. Yeah, this is a King of the Hill style debate. Whoever gets knocked off will invite another person up to come talk.
Nice.
But yeah, give it a minute or so.
Yeah, I think you guys
What do you
did
think,
very
Sophie?
good. I like the passion, especially
Ooh.
Stoner. Well done, guys.
Yep.
Thank you.
All right, we already got 12 votes in.
Wow, only half the vote. Wow, this is democracy right here. This is what's wrong.
True.
What's wrong with the electoral college? Okay, only a faction of the people actually vote. So
Exactly.
I guess it shows up here too. Okay.
See, I'm old enough
All
to have
right.
actually watched that happen on Arsenio Hall, you guys.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
That was an amazing
All right.
moment in political history. Yes.
Let's call it there. 14, 13. Someone
Oh, 13.
someone
Yeah.
voted and then took their vote back.
Oh,
I've never
there you
seen that
go.
vote
It's back.
before. They're like, oh, I don't really feel it today. 15? Okay.
All
All
right.
right.
Do we have 15? Do we have
Let's go.
15? Oh, we got
16?
16.
15?
16.
Everyone's doing
Okay,
great.
thanks,
17. Okay.
guys.
It's
Oh,
like a
come
stock
on.
market.
The
Okay.
16
Just watch the number go up and down.
Okay. They were undecided. All right.
True.
Resho, you ready?
Yeah, call there.
All right, let's do it. All
All right,
right.
On
Wow,
God,
on
you're staying
God by
on.
a landslide.
All right.
So that
Thank you,
means
Stoner, for coming up.
passion is not
Yep.
enough.
All right.
Cool.
All right. Does anyone else hold the position on the other side of On God? Otherwise, what is it? Who should determine what counts as misinformation, platforms or governments? I believe On God's position is platforms. So anyone believe that governments should hold that position or should determine what counts as misinformation?
Well, Dr. Kip has a third position.
Oh,
You
we have a
wanna
third position?
raise your
Or
hand and
Jace?
let us
Positionism
know
scares
what
me.
your
Oh, no. Jace already says
Okay.
I believe I do. Come on,
Aye,
jump.
aye.
If you right click on your name, you can invite yourself up to speak. Where's Jace? Invite to speak. Position true.
All
right,
right,
Jace.
sorry about that. I accidentally hit deny.
You're fine.
Oh, it's okay.
Do you believe
You don't want to
believe
talk to us?
or governments
How
should?
dare
Yeah,
you?
true.
I think it's more of a hard question. I think there is like the
Yeah,
research
that's
is, like,
the
somewhere
point.
in the
I
middle.
did pick a hard question.
But
No, what an easy question. Okay, is the sky blue?
I
So if you
think
can
it
start the
should
timer.
be at least somewhat under the purview of the government because when you saw the CEOs kind of capitulate and turn for Trump and just kind of suck him off, they have no accountability. But I do feel like the government has
True.
at least some accountability, even if right now it's looking a little rough.
Well, I mean, they do have some level of accountability, right?
But not
Like to
enough.
their shareholders.
Okay, and if I don't feel like that's like a good enough
And
what's it called?
you think
Oh, my bad.
a good enough like system of
Yeah,
accountability?
yes.
Did the
thank
timer
you.
start, Sophie?
Took the words out my mouth.
All right, let's get it.
I feel like because then you
All
get the the Epstein class. You get a bunch of rich
Hmm.
stockholders, shareholders. I mean, technically
Mhm.
you could be a big shareholder, but
Mm-hmm.
you would just get controlled information. I feel like even harder. Capitalism, controlled information. Versus, I feel like if there was like a government thing, you would at least vote in someone that has the same ideals.
I think that the idea that a government should determine what misinformation is. Actually, question: how would you go about it? What process would you like to see?
Put it up to a popular vote. Every piece of misinformation. I have no idea. I honestly don't know what it would look like.
Well, see,
It sounds like,
yeah.
I mean, maybe just right off the top of my head, maybe like a congressional thing where they all get together, and so like,
Well, see, but this is the problem: is now you have a politicized entity, which would be Congress, deciding whether something's misinformation or not. If Democrats had a supermajority, everything that would be considered misinformation could just be run through as literal misinformation about, for example, Trump or Bush or whoever might be running. You could just say,
based.
"Oh, well, we're voting for it," right? But
Why
like,
is it
and
based,
imagine if
Jace?
it
Go
was
ahead.
if it was a Republican supermajority, they could say the 2020 election was actually stolen, and Trump deserves 4 more years in office. You know what I mean? Like, it. I don't really. I don't. I
Let's
don't. I
yeah,
don't see
Jace.
this.
Why is it based? Go for it.
No, no, that was a joke.
Okay.
Sorry. Um,
Come on.
There will be no joking on the server.
No, take your back.
sorry. I mean, it's hard for me after seeing all the CEOs gather around Trump, shake his hand, pat his back.
True.
Those are the people have no form of accountability for them. And I feel like having at least a little accountability, even if minor, because I feel like the media environment is already slightly leaning towards the government, like
Yeah.
controlling misinformation,
On God,
Do
what's your
you
take on
mean
or
that?
they're trying it best.
Do you mean that as in like they're like? What do you mean by they lean like more government? Like, as in like they support the Trump administration? They just support the government in general? What exactly do you mean?
Give him a bunch of money. They're all at the inauguration. Do that one photo of like all the top people at the Trump inauguration was fucking
Okay,
crazy.
gotcha. So pro Trump then.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Which I do feel like it swings that way a little bit. I feel like the government's trying to do that. And I feel like just having like a dedicated system, obviously it'd have to be thought up more. I don't have any ideas. I'm not that guy.
So
Not the idea guy.
thing about that is like over the past how long has it been? Like 14 months? No, like 15 months of the Trump presidency, the media coverage has been incredibly negative. Even when we saw on day one, when we saw these CEOs kissing up, giving them gifts, talking all this stuff essentially about Trump, when it came down to writing the articles, none of it was positive. The tariffs were incredibly harmful to the economy, and that was reflected in the articles. The war in Iran that's happening right now has been heavily criticized from all around. Even Fox News has been starting to turn against Trump. There's a split in the Republican Party, and that's largely because of media figures like Nick Fuentes, like Tucker Carlson, even straying away from Trump. We saw it with the ICE stuff happening in Minnesota, right? Like, it's been a media nightmare for the Trump regime.
I have a
That's why they say
question for
everything's
you.
fake news. Yeah, what's up?
Hypothetically, if we could vote in CEOs to a government position where they get to be on a board of misinformation, would that be something you would be for or against?
if we get to vote in like you mean like a CEO of like a private company, we vote him into
Not
like a government
not
position, or
singular into like we make a new department of we make the Department of Truth,
okay,
but for that Department of Truth we elect a board, and that
yeah,
board would be made of CEOs that control the social media landscape. Is that something that you would be okay with?
no, because giving the government that sweeping authority does not seem to fit well with the First Amendment doctrine that we have in the United States. The idea is that the people should be able to decide what they want, and the government enforcing what is or isn't misinformation doesn't allow for people to come out with what the information might be. Like, for example, if it was a politicized board, right? Let's
5
say that like
minutes.
Trump was like
5 minutes.
paying off all these people to say this is truth, this isn't truth, and if you don't agree with it,
Can you
then
do
you're
that
off the
now?
committee. What do you mean? Can you do that?
Wait, sorry, I think I misunderstood you. Can you say that again?
Yeah, like let's say like Trump paid the members of the committee to be like, this is truth, this isn't truth, and if you say that, maybe you get to go on the island with me, or you get to go golfing, right? Small business like papers, like small newspapers, won't be able to produce it because it's misinformation, right? Nobody will be able to produce it because it's misinformation. But if a CEO says it's misinformation on their platform, and it actually is true, the beautiful thing is that other companies have the ability to spread what is true, and they'll likely sell more papers because what they're saying comports with reality. Even though humans are not a truth-seeking people, like we don't seek truth, we do want to know what's happening. And when what the paper says doesn't match up with what's happening, that's when we start to question things.
In response, Chase.
No, I'm not. Well, sorry, give me
Come
1
on,
second to
Chase.
think. I'm putting
You
it
got
together.
this.
Listen, I'm a little nervous. Sorry, I've never
Okay,
spoken in front
okay.
of this many
You're
people.
good.
Aw,
You're all good.
just breathe. Woosah. It's all good. You're among
Um,
friends.
hopefully. Uh, I feel like what you're saying could already happen now. And right now, then the CEOs would have no accountability. But if they worked for the government, I feel like there would be at least some accountability. And I feel like the accountability might be where truth truth prevails. I'm not serious about that, but I do feel like it does have a big part in my hypothetical Department of Peace. Does that make sense?
I hear ya. It's just it's giving the government a level of power that, especially in the current political climate, shouldn't be given to the government. Um, maybe
Okay.
I'm just a little too libertarian-ish, maybe, but like I don't think the government should have the ability to come in and say, this is what the press cannot release, right? Like this seems
Yeah.
explicitly against the First Amendment, especially if it's an act passed by Congress that explicitly would go against the First Amendment. We'd either have to repeal the First Amendment and then find a new amendment to replace the First Amendment, or we could continue with the system that we have now, which, while it's not perfect, it's better than the alternatives available.
But I feel like we haven't even tried a Department of Peace. So how can we say it's bad?
Well,
No,
because
I
we
agree
we
with
could look at
you.
other countries.
I've taken my devil advocacy too far. I'm out.
God damn.
Oh, this is
Okay.
devil's advocacy. How
Well,
dare you?
like
How dare
not
you, sir?
not really. Like I do believe it, but the hypothetical has gone too far. I like mostly agree with
Let's
you, but I do feel like they're like a board of CEOs somewhere, maybe not governmentally elected, could be a path forward just to like have mass like understanding of what mis and disinformation is.
let's sidestep for a little bit let's sidestep it for a second. It's not really about truth, it's about like misinformation. So I guess on God, would you trust a government that if there's something spreading almost like a virus or some shit like that's just completely untrue or some shit like if you drink bleach or some shit like it'll cure your cancer, would you be
Right.
cool with the government stepping in for something like that?
I think that if the government should be allowed to make PSAs about it, but I don't think that they should be allowed to necessarily take that away from consumers. So, like, let's say like Fox News pushes it, CNN doesn't make an article about it, and then everyone else is silent.
One minute.
Whatever. People look at the Fox News story and be like, "Oh my God, I should drink bleach to clear cancer." I think the government should be allowed to say, "Here's a PSA. We're saying that you shouldn't drink bleach."
That's an insane
I'm,
take. What? I'm sorry.
Mm.
Because
Go for
Here's
it,
my
Chase.
hypothetical. Well, what
Got
if
40
like
seconds.
a million people die on because they drink bleach because so many news stations were reporting that it's healthy for you to drink bleach? You
Yep.
don't think the government has a right to step in and protect its people, even if it's harming an amendment just a little bit? Of like, hey,
No,
this is
an
crazy.
amendment
Like,
just a little bit. You're talking about basic rights that we've fought for hundreds of years for.
and I
It's not
understand
just
that.
it's not just an amendment. This is one of the bill. This is part of the Bill of Rights, the fundamental
Correct.
rights we have as Americans. I'm not like this might come across like a virtue signal, but like when it comes to
off.
like these rights, like
10
these
seconds.
are fundamentally what makes America America. If you're gonna try on the First Amendment here, what's gonna stop you from trying on the First Amendment later?
All right, that is time.
Yo, ooh,
Yeah.
thank you
Sophie,
guys.
if you could
That was
do
a lot
the
of fun.
side chat. Post
All
voting.
right. Here we go. One sec.
Dr. Kip, we will bring you up, okay? On scary, oh no. There's a controversy. Okay. It is
On
skip time, okay?
God and Jace, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Here we go. All right. Who won, guys?
Yeah, there's a little promotional for tournament starting next week if you're interested. Sign up for in the
Yes.
side chat.
Just posted
Can I vote?
that
Of course.
link again.
I mean,
Hell
like,
yeah.
do we not allow presidents to vote or whatever the fuck? Can you not like vote for yourself or some shit in like a presidential race?
And while we're getting
Like,
votes in, just a little bit about the tournament. We're gonna have 16 contestants. It's gonna go across about 10 rounds, and then we're actually gonna run the both like semifinals on the same night, and the final will be on the 4th of July. So over the next several
ooh,
weeks, our summer season will begin come May, and we could not be more thrilled. So there will be a variety of topics, a variety of skill levels. So even if you're brand new, please don't feel like you can't join the tourney. And there will even be opportunities if you're not interested in the tournament, but you still want to debate. Please still fill out the form because we'll still have opportunities for just some more chill debates. But yeah, fill out the
all right.
form. We need you guys.
13 votes. It's only barely over half. It's 60%. What is
Yeah,
the
come on,
US?
guys.
What is the US like voting rate? I need to know now.
6-7.
God damn it. I'm gonna kill him. I'm gonna kill him. He's not allowed to come
You're
back. Though.
banned.
I'm killing him.
You're banned. We're
He's
kicking you.
banned.
Worth it.
Worth it. Just give me a number.
You're making the baby mad. How dare you?
For who? All right. There's time. Who got? On God.
All right.
Keeps it
We
barely
got.
by 2 votes.
Oh,
Right.
okay. Yeah. Any more?
3 votes. 6-9.
15.
6-9. Ah, yes.
14.
Numbers. Sophie, you have a child. Do they know numbers as well? Can they name some of
She
them
she
for
can
us?
count. She can count to like 20.
Dang, that's
She's doing pretty good.
so close.
All right.
All right.
You guys ready?
Was it
Yeah.
Drip or
All
was
right.
it
3,
Gary?
2, 1. Attack.
No. Wait, what? There's one here.
Oh, that was really close.
Oh, I
Where
already
did you go,
looked. I'm so
Jace?
sorry. I already killed him. I already took him out back.
Oh no.
All right, he was saying memes. I had to do it.
Oh
I had
my
to.
God.
All
Well,
right,
he's the
unscary and
oh, well, I was gonna say he's the loser anyway, but no,
oh
now
my
it's a
gosh, so
tie.
mean.
Sorry. I
Who
didn't
just
actually
voted at the
end
very
the vote,
end?
so we
Holy.
have a split screen of a
Unscary.
tie. Oh
Red
Unscary and
snap!
Sea.
You know what?
Dip
Okay, I'm gonna have to.
What?
or Kip.
What?
What is this
Are
late
you
voting?
serious?
I'm not looking. Okay, I already looked at the results. I already made the
All
decision.
right, here, let's
No.
let me
Okay,
see. I'll just
unscary.
end the
Kip, Dr. Kip was
poll.
asking you a question of how passionate you are on this topic. 0 out of 10.
Sorry about that. Okay. Like that question was to On God?
Wait, sorry.
No,
What was the question?
no, nothing. Sorry.
We should have
Unscary's a
stopped the
5. How are you
count.
feeling, Dr. Kip? How passionate are you on this topic?
I'm pretty passionate.
I can tell.
Say I'm like an 8.
Oh,
7
you
or
know
8.
what? I like this is the last round, but I should come in for one round and fight whoever.
You want me to bring up Dr. Kip?
Well, no, I was asking. They're doing a flip. What the fuck?
We also have Theo and Unscary. What should I do? Debate Daddy?
I'm a 10
What's up?
then. All right. Bring up Unscary.
All right.
All right. This will be the last round for this topic. Unscary. Time starts now.
Hello. Hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Cool.
Go for it.
Yeah, I just want to make this like straight. Like you are the sorry, I wasn't looking at my screen. I was folding laundry. You
Okay.
are of the position. I want to match your voice to the position that I'm certain that you have is corporations should take care of it.
Yep, I think that if a corporation wants to figure out what's misinformation on their own platform, I think they have the right to do that.
Yeah, and I think that's okay to a certain degree, but I think that since the foundation of any kind of media that has existed in the United States, that we've had some kind of government oversight, and it's been for good cause. Corporations have a incentive that is not in line with the public. It is more selfish. Not to say that like that's necessarily a bad thing until it is. They want to exist as a business. They want to exist as a profit turning company. That's fine, but at a certain degree, it becomes problematic. That's why we have things like FCC and other regulatory bodies that kind of check that and what they can do with that. And I understand that Section 230 is a very problematic thing that nobody really wants to deal with, but it needs to, something has to happen. But they keep kicking that can down the road because it is a very problematic thing that will upend the current system as it is in a very dramatic way that nobody really
Yeah,
knows or has any answers to how that would fall. So yeah.
so
Go
you
for
went over 3 things loosely. Foundation of a good media environment is government oversight. Why do you assert that?
I'm sorry, can you say that again?
Sure.
Which
You
point
said
were you referencing?
you said the foundation of a good media environment is government oversight. Why did you assert that?
Well, it could also be the end of media as it exists too, if you want to swing it to the extreme.
Well, that's what
But
you said. So
well,
which
yeah,
one is
yeah.
it?
So I think that well, ideally in a democracy and in the Western world, as you see it, we have like a mechanism for the people, power to the people, like a government for the people kind of thing. But like corporations don't have any incentive other than their shareholders, right? So like they're okay with it, and this is something that needs to be curbed, and that's why like eventually Section 230 has to be dealt with, and we need a hardline stance on like where does culpability fall on, because because of their ad revenue and the way that it works and the views and the clicks that they get, they're letting, even though that they know these like Russian foreign bots are stoking animosity, and we know that negative clicks are more prominent than positive clicks, and it's harmful to society, and
I'm
government
sorry. Can
should
we
step
please
in to help society.
keep it concise? Like I asked about government oversight is the basis of a good media environment. I feel like you've yet to answer it in the past 2 minutes. Um, like you said that it was good government oversight was the basis of a good media environment, and now you're saying it's both that and it could be the end of a good media environment. I feel like these are contradictory statements, and I want you to clarify, please, concisely. You brought up corporate incentive, but you're just asserting these things. You're not giving arguments for them. You're asserting them and then moving
Okay,
on.
for example, like in like Hungary, right? Like Viktor Orban just got voted out,
I
and
don't I
he's
don't
been
care about
60
Hungary. I'm sorry. I don't care about Hungary. We're talking about the United States, which is a very complicated, very unique media environment.
All right, sure. Then just exercising all externalities, just in the United States, the media environment is doing okay, but yeah, no, corporations have no incentive to put out true or false information. They're not in that business. The government should have some sort of oversight to
Why are
keep
you asserting that?
why I'm
Yeah, what's
asserting.
the
Why
So
argument
aren't you
for it?
explaining
yeah,
that? You're
have
just
you
Yeah.
asserting this. Yeah.
hold on. It's like have you like bowling? Like when you put the bumper rails up, like you should be able to like operate freely within the lane, but like as soon as you go outside the lane, like the bumper rails are up. So like you're
You haven't.
still like
We're not even bowling right now yet. Like we've gotten to the, like you just said that for the third time you've asserted that corporate incentive is not aligned with the people. Like you're just asserting this. You're not
Unscary. Why do
explaining
you
it. Like
think?
you're
Why do you think
you're
government
if it
oversight
was
is
giving
if it
good?
was like
money
I can
not
provide an
to give
argument. No, I can
true
Hold up,
provide
let's
an
take a
information.
argument to
pause.
literally
Retro's asking a
Yeah.
question. Go ahead, Retro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unscary. Why do you think government oversight is a good thing in relations to
Because the
disinformation?
government incentive for the people is a very different than incentive than a company, right? Like they have two different incentives. Like technically, the government is for the people, by the people. The company is to make money. These incentives are not always in line, and therefore there should be oversight.
All right. On God.
Okay, yeah.
Response?
You said not aligned to make money. How do you make money as a news corporation?
What do you, through
4
advertisement.
minutes.
Through advertisements. Okay. I guess
And we
that's
know,
part of it. Yeah, but the vast
and
majority of
we know
profit, the
that
vast majority of profit, the vast
negative
majority of profit,
advertisement
the
in
vast. Hold a minute, sir.
sensationalist
No, 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 no,
stories.
no, no. You don't get to rant for 2 minutes and then cut me off when I ask, like when I'm making a 5-second
ahead.
statement. Okay. You said that it was advertisements is part of it, but selling newspapers or selling subscriptions, for example, like the New York Times, that's how they get a lot of their money. Why would you subscribe to a news agency that doesn't tell you the news?
The same way that everybody in America subscribes to their because we're comfort seeking, not truth seeking.
But people believe these to be true. Like a Fox News viewer, if you tell them that the 2020 election wasn't stolen, they'll be like, no, that's not true. It was stolen. That is the truth.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's why they keep watching Fox News, because they believe it. They already like they're hearing what they want to hear, and it feels good, and they continue to do that. But the government should step in and say you can't do that.
Until the government says that CNN can't spread the actual truth, which is that the 2020 election wasn't stolen. Like you realize that like what you're saying is going to apply to the other way around. Like you can't
It's a
have
good
it
thing that
both
we have
ways.
three branches and a lot of checks and balances.
Oh,
And
that's helped
on
us so
this,
far,
yeah.
right? Yeah, that's helped us a
It
whole lot.
actually
ICE
has. I
detention
mean,
facilities,
there's a reason that conservatives fall
Minneapolis,
back.
Hold.
yeah, this has helped
One
us
at a
so
time.
much.
Conservatives fall back on this talking point a lot, and they'll say the guardrails held, right? Because they did. They technically did. That doesn't mean they should be tested.
So why would we add more weight on the guardrails that are barely holding? Like the guardrails are like about to
We're
fall
not.
over.
We want
You
to
want to add
alleviate those
more. You
guardrails.
want to add more pressure to the guardrails.
No, I don't. My position is to alleviate the weight on the guardrails.
That's the opposite of what you're doing, though. You're giving the government a politicized way to like
2 minutes.
decide what is misinformation or information, right? Like this is just adding more to the plate for the Supreme Court, for example, to decide is this even constitutional? Like this is like there's so much going on right now, and what you
Look,
want to do is you want to give the government the ability to say what's misinformation in order to ban it because corporations are their interests are not aligned. They want to make money.
in the same way that like Rice Krispies will put sawdust near Rice Krispies if they were allowed to. Like yeah, they'll do it if they can. Like yes, Fox News, the number one trespasser on truth, had the biggest claim of defamation ever in news history in the entirety of the world, and nobody ever talks about it anymore. Um, Yes,
Well,
there
no, right.
are checks and balances on these institutions, and there needs to be,
was
because they
4
will
years
do
ago.
so if they're allowed to.
Wasn't that suit 4 years ago? That's
It's
probably why
still the
people
biggest
aren't
one in
talking about it. It's
history, as
because
far as I'm
it
aware.
was 4 years ago. Like, yeah, I get it, but like, I don't know if you're aware. I don't know if you live in the United States. Our news cycle is like 2 weeks, right? Like, this is just gonna happen. Like, I don't know what to tell you about the Fox News plan. That's kind of irrelevant. And
Good,
again, the
but like
corporate
maybe if
incentive
there's
is
some
just not
oversight, it
aligned to
wouldn't
make money,
happen.
right? You're not making arguments for the government system. You're making arguments against the
30
capital
seconds.
system, which is fine. But you haven't defended your position. You just attacked my position.
Well, yeah, no, I'm defending the position as government oversight would prevent these things from happening, because there's two different things. Government is supposed to help people and make lives better. Capital systems have no obligation to do so, and companies only
You're just
have.
asserting these things. You make no
Well, I'm not
argument. You just
asserting these
assert
things.
things. Yes, you are. You
Hold
just
on,
say them as if
they
they're
have a
true.
fiduciary responsibility to their shareholders, right? Like, you agree with that?
Yeah, you're ignoring how they
All right,
fulfill
that's
is
that.
time,
time.
guys.
Right. Another vote in side chat. You know what?
Wow.
I'll do it.
That was
We'll do one more round.
extraordinary.
Get Dr. Kip up here.
I really like that. Let's
Very
see.
passionate.
Put scary on go. All right. So who won? Unscary Ghost?
Who did the Alex
On God.
Jones meme? It should have been the
On God.
Thanos meme.
True.
Reality can be whatever I believe or whatever I make it.
True.
Vote in side chat. See who won.
Yeah, and while the votes are coming in, hot and heavy. Just one more time, would like to
Hot and
remind
heavy. Damn.
everyone.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, what?
I was just the innuendos there was crazy. Okay.
I was Oh my God. Okay. You know, it's late.
It's late.
Nighttime is the right time. Okay, just forgive me. But
Mm.
yeah, we're gonna just roll with it. But the forum for the debate night tournament is in the side chat. Also want to shout out that again, this is not our home. We're just guests on this server, thanks to our dear friend Destiny allowing us to come up on stage. But we are actually from Digital Ground Game. So if you're interested in what we've got going on here with our debate nights, if you're interested in the tournament and want to know more about even more events that we have going on, including political action oriented things like organizing in your local region, doing some door knocking, learning about canvassing, doing phone banking, putting into practice the things that can help you be a little bit less black pilled, um, come over and join us on digitalgroundgame.org. The server is just discord.gg/digitalgroundgame. We'd love to have you. We'd love to put you to work. So if you're interested in, actually getting to be like a boot on the ground, that's awesome. But you can also work behind the scenes in the media team. We have writers, we have a dev team, a research team, event planners. So there's so much you can do to contribute to us and to your
Right.
country. So ask not what you can do for us.
It's not what you
Ask
can
what
do
you
for
can
your country.
do for your country.
Or fuck, I messed it up. Oh, Kennedy, he's dead. What have they done? All right. Any last minute votes? Be
Yeah,
here
come
in a
on, just
minute.
11. Come on, guys. See, we have pared down a bit. That was probably the spiciest one, and folks have seemed to be diminishing. So we're
All
at
right,
well
all
over
right.
half. That's impressive.
Let's end it there.
All right, friends.
See what we got.
You ready?
Yep.
All right, I'm going to end the poll now as opposed to just showing the results. See, we're learning. We're living and we're learning.
We're learning.
So it looks
True.
like
Oh my gosh. On God. You
on
can go like
God.
undefeated here.
Yeah,
Maybe.
Oh my
for real.
Maybe.
gosh.
I
All right,
like it.
Kip. Dr. Kip, come on. Third position.
Thanks,
Kip, lock in right now.
Unscary.
We need you.
My position is it would be illogical to have the corporations or the government to control this. because they are incentivized to push their agenda, no matter what it is. They can say, "Well, let's do free speech," but you can have Elon posting genocide in South Africa all day. So that should prove that corporations shouldn't do it. Because if you're the head of the
True.
corporation and like a guy with really small arms like Elon, you're kind of cooked. I mean, and if you have the Trump administration to do it, okay, what are they going to do? He's going to post Medbed and hymns Jesus. So you need I don't know if it's an organization that's sort of like the Federal Reserve, where it's somewhat adjacent to the government and somewhat independent, or it just being a organization altogether that everybody's like, all right, we respect it, like Wikipedia. It's either Wikipedia or Federal Reserve is my idea. If this is ever going to be respected.
Sophie, if you could start the timer.
Oh, sorry. Thank you.
That's my argument.
Sounds like a good start.
So
Go for it, on God.
it's illogical for the government or corporations. Anyway, you want government to do it,
Or Wikipedia style. I gave you two options.
which is a corporation.
Yeah. But you're saying the corporations that are involved on the platforms is what you're saying. Yeah, nonprofit. Yes, that's exactly right. Yeah.
A non-profit.
The
like
whole
Wikipedia,
point of
which
it
already,
is to
which already literally gives you that access, which is one of the most commonly looked up websites in the world that is directly at your fingertips, which you can use right now.
I'm not saying Wikipedia, I'm saying a Wikipedia-esque
We already
organization.
have Wikipedia, which can
Yeah.
give you a ton of information, as we know from our
But is the
lovely
point of,
streamer.
is the
Destiny.
point of Wikipedia in itself is to battle misinformation at all costs and to
And it's
keep the
working.
record straight, or is it just to be an encyclopedia? It's just to be an encyclopedia.
Well, by spreading the truth, you're inherently fighting what's not true. You can't have it. You can't say I'm spreading the truth,
Not
but
if
I'm
you're
not fighting
active. Not
disinformation.
if you're not actively fighting it.
Just
you
by
can post the
spreading
truth, but-
knowledge, you're actively fighting it. That's like giving
That's not
someone
the
a
case.
book and saying you're not actively fighting disinformation.
So if like the governor of South Carolina says something crazy, is Wikipedia going to post and say, actually, what he's saying is not true? People have to actively go on that source to
We'll have
prove
to
it.
look up
This
what he's-
this organization in my mind would be like, okay, this government official says something that's obviously untrue. Here's the sources. Bam. In my
Hold on a
mind, it
minute.
would be an active response rather than a passive tome of knowledge.
Okay,
Yeah.
and who would do this active response? A nonprofit or a government organization?
Let's call it Truthland. How about that? So
Why, I didn't answer
Truthland.
the question. Yeah.
What do you mean? What do you
I'm
mean?
asking-
Who would do it?
I'm asking very simply, would it be like a nonprofit organization?
Sure,
Would it be like
yeah.
a government organization?
Sure.
He's
Nonprofit
giving
could
you an
work if you're
example.
wanting it to be if you're wanting it to be elected like Federal Reserve, give it more authority. But again, that would also like bring in the element of okay, it's kind of bent toward the government element, so probably it'd be wiser to have some sort of nonprofit. But I don't know.
I'm sorry. You said that it was illogical. Your very first statement
This
here
whole
was that
this
it's
whole
illogical
thing
for either
is
of them.
impossible.
But you're
This
just
whole
like
thing
you
is
can't-
impossible.
It's not impossible. You're just choosing to make it impossible. Like you're saying it's illogical for either, and then you're.
But your
suggesting
argument is
both
never
suggestions.
your argument was never proven. It's just
You
the
don't
guys
even-
that were
you don't
talking
even-
about it had no idea what they
You haven't
wanted.
even attacked my argument yet. All you've said was that it's just illogical. You just asserted
Yeah.
that my argument doesn't.
No,
go.
I said
Why
that
don't you contend with that?
corporations that are like Twitter or Elon or Facebook that have fact-checking sources are inevitably going to be bent toward that corporation's interest. It's inevitable.
That's not how. Hold on, wait, do you know
That's
how
not how
community works?
corporations work.
Hold on, do you know how community notes work?
Yeah, it's in theory a okay. People can put facts
I
on
don't care
there,
about in
but
theory. I'm talking about in practice. In practice, what are they? What are they?
in
what are they
practice,
for?
it's not
What are they doing?
universally used though.
That wasn't the question. The question was like, how do they work? Not if they're universally used.
Some guy on looks up, hey, this is a fact, and they post it underneath or Ted Cruz or Elon, whoever. Yeah.
On God, why don't you just
No.
explain how they work?
Oh, yeah, sure. So I actually work with community posting for TikTok. I can tell you that what it is we have a selection of posts that come through us. We all there's basically they randomly select people like me to look at community notes. You'd be like, is this true? Is this true? How could you amend it? And I go through it along with like 10 other people per post, and I will go through it and I'll be like, this is true, this wasn't true, this was true. And then that's how you make your community post. It has nothing to do with TikTok. TikTok doesn't pay me to do it. Nobody's paying me to do it. Nobody's telling me what to say is true or what isn't true. What you do is you have a bunch of other people who are looking to
That's not an
for the
argument for a
truth.
corporation. That's an argument for a
This isn't even.
nonprofit.
I'm explaining to you the position that you're arguing against and how your understanding of it's completely wrong.
I'm wrong in the fact that you're saying corporation when in fact you're also saying
No, you're wrong in
community
that
note
your
nonprofit
community
should do
note.
it.
No, you're wrong in that your community note, like critique, is completely wrong. Like it doesn't understand what community notes are. You're saying that it's inherently pro corporation, but it's not run by corporations. We're not paid by corporations.
What
We
platform
literally
are
go
the
out of our
community notes
way.
ran on?
TikTok. That's what I do.
If there
It
was
works the
something
same way.
that
It
was
works
against
the same way
TikTok,
for Twitter. It works the same way for Facebook.
you're saying that their hands are tied in stopping
I-
any information that would be against TikTok.
Nobody's saying that. You're saying that.
Yeah, I am saying that because it's
Yeah, but you have no
what's
basis for
happened.
that. That's not what's happened. I can tell you, I work in this field. I literally do this. No, we don't.
Well, but you're a note taker. You're a scribe. You're not a CEO.
I make the community notes.
Yeah, you make the community notes. Some guy in Shenzhen can be like, you know what? Let's remove this community note. Yeah.
That's not how it works.
How do you know that's how it works? You're not a C-suite.
Because I do it. I don't know why you like. I don't know what's difficult to understand.
You're saying that TikTok's hands are tied in terms of
Hey, why
your
is that- why is that-
hands are tied.
You're saying that
oh,
this hypothetically.
well,
could
this
happen.
one community notes writer said that this thing's untrue. We can't remove it. It's
That's not
really
how that
losing us a lot of
works.
money.
No.
They you know.
Oh,
Doesn't
that's
make
not how
sense.
this works. I've explained it. I'll explain it again.
Alright.
Okay, and I'll explain it more simply, I guess. Community notes are made by people who sign up for the platform and are verified by TikTok. Okay, they're just checking your account in that first step to see if you have any violations of the rules, if you have some sort of background on TikTok that they should know about. Then what they do is they allow you to make the notes. And what you could do in those notes is you could write anything. But what ends up happening is that it has to be reviewed by a group of other people who have also signed up for this program. And they have to go through and they have to verify it. And they will either say, this wasn't true, this was partially true, or this is true. And they'll highlight certain things about it that made it good or bad. And then what ends up happening is that the one that gets the most amount of points, basically, because every okay, this was good, or okay, this was bad has a certain point value. Whichever one had the most points becomes that community note. It has nothing to do with CEOs. Hypothetically, a CEO could try and remove it, but you're just talking about a hypothetical that, from my understanding, doesn't exist.
Yeah, Elon has never influenced Twitter to promote his agendas.
Yeah, that
Even
wasn't
had it limited on the
even a
platform.
valid critique. That was a non sequitur entirely.
How is that non sequitur if it's a corporation that has direct power to remove any work that you're doing? All that hard work that you're copy and pasting from wherever sources you got. Elon has no power. It's like, well, there's a community note. I really can't do anything now. Well,
no, what you said, what you just said in response to that was, so Elon Musk doesn't influence Twitter at all. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about community.
No, I'm saying specifically in this.
That's what that's what you said, right? You can't say this is
All right,
what I'm
cool.
saying after you just said it.
Yeah. Let me write down exactly what I say so you can't interrupt my terminology. Okay, I'm saying that if the community notes is hosted by the corporation on their platform, they can at any point censor that information, even if it's true. To have any sort of credibility, it has to be off platform somehow.
No,
to remove any sort
of.
You're just saying that. I am saying that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not me.
Let's wait one
second.
second.
I'm saying it. Yeah.
Dr. Kip, could you reply to like his response of like how they go about doing community notes? Like, what do you think of that process?
That's fine. I really don't care how the scribes do their work. But if the higher ups can censor that information, even if it's true, why does it matter? How does it? What?
Why do you?
Who cares?
Wait,
Hold. I'm saying.
On God.
Get it.
Do you think if someone higher up, like some CEO motherfucker, sees your community note and has those updates and shit, and they don't like it or some shit, do you think they could just remove it, or like what do you think? What do you think of that critique?
Yeah, they could. It just hasn't happened yet, right? And
it's never happened in Twitter's history.
Like what
it's
you're
never
talking
happened with
about,
TikTok.
what you're
it's
talking about just hasn't happened. And Dr. Kip here, his whole argument so far has been, well, it could happen. It's like, okay, Trump could calling the military tomorrow and
Trump
taking away the
Trump
right to
could
vote.
have
It's like
stormed
it
the
could
Capitol in
happen,
January
but like
6th, but it did.
this isn't how this works. Like I don't know what to tell you. Like you're just making things up and then saying, well, because this could hypothetically happen, that means it is happening.
it would
and
remove
therefore
it. It
we
would
have to-
remove risk
Again,
off the platform.
you haven't
yeah,
made an
absolutely.
argument for your position. You're attacking
Well, no,
my position
Because you're telling me
hoping-
how
and
hard
hoping
you
guys
work at
give
TikTok
up. Yeah.
to copy and paste Wikipedia articles. I don't understand how that's applicable to defending corporations for. I mean, you're saying it's never happened in TikTok's history. It's never happened in Twitter's history. It's just because I don't have Google pulled up to give you an exact example. You're saying it's never happened that TikTok or Instagram or Facebook has stopped truth from being confirmed on their platform. You're saying
This
that's
is the
impossible. It's never
problem with
happened?
this conversation. You keep trying to switch it. You keep trying to switch it from community notes to do corporations influence what happens on their website? You're completely switching arguments. This is the problem with this conversation.
What is this?
That's why
what
this
is
is
this debate
such a
called? What
flip-flop
is this debate called?
conversation.
What is this
It's
debate called?
because
Community
you
notes
keep-
or
you keep
corporations versus
swapping-
government?
You keep swapping what you want to
second.
talk about.
What's
You wanna talk about
what's the
community
name of
notes
this
or do you wanna talk
debate?
about the
What's the name of
influence
this
of it,
debate? Community
right?
notes or
You're not
corporations versus
even,
government?
and again, you keep interrupting because there's no
Alright,
way you can
that
win
is
this. That's it. You
time.
just said it was
All right. This will be the last voting. Can On God pull out this wouldn't even be a hat trick. This would just be a fucking an ace. Like what in like CS:GO or some shit.
It's already a hat trick, right? So
True.
yeah, you're doing pretty good here, man. So you know what this means, On God, regardless of this current outcome.
don't know what
You're
this
up
means.
for the debate, sir. You have proven you survived the gauntlet. You've proven your skills. Let's see. All right. So On God. I guess I don't really have to put that part, but okay.
Thanks everyone for
So who
sticking
won
around
then?
with for us this long. But yeah,
Yeah.
we'll be wrapping it after this. We'll see. This will be the last vote.
Yeah, and while you're voting, just like On God is going to be part of our tournament that starts next week. You too can join us on the tournament debate stage. I'm going to put the link in the
Rise to the
chat
ranks.
for that.
Damn, I don't know
Yeah.
those fucking mobile ads enough. Get your
Say
those,
that
like,
one
mob
more
boss shit.
time.
I'm trying to think of like the mobile ads where it's like the fucking numbers or some shit. I can't think of it right now. God, I'm blinking so hard.
Oh, I don't know. But also, just real quick, breaking news, everyone. It looks like there was an assassination attempt on Donald Trump at the White House Correspondents' Dinner.
Oh my god, breaking news, Jesus.
Yeah, breaking news. Jace dropped the news, and so I just found an article and posted that in the
Jace.
side chat.
My
But
god, my guy.
yeah, just to update you, it looks like 53 minutes ago, the dinner is expected to resume after Trump and cabinet members were evacuated.
I mean, after so many attempts, they're just like, okay, it's another Tuesday, okay?
This is hilarious. This is hilarious. I just saw dinner expected to resume, and that is the funniest shit I've ever heard in my fucking life. Oh my god.
Alright,
Okay,
well,
let's see. So what we know.
and
Da.
we'll get to that after. Let's wrap the vote.
Yeah. So
You won.
it says Wolf Blitzer said he was within a few feet of the shooter and called into CNN to describe his observations. Blitzer said he saw a very, very serious weapon. He starts shooting, and I happen to have been a few feet away from him as he was shooting. Of course, the first thing that went through my mind is he trying to shoot me? And I don't think he was trying to shoot me, but I was very close to him as the gunshots were fired, and he was very, very scary, but I'm okay now.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
All right. So
you won.
interesting. So everybody follow up with the news when we get out of here. Alrighty. So we have 12 votes. Last call. That's most folks here. So that's
True.
pretty damn good. Thanks everybody. All right. So let's see. We've got Mr.
Mr.
Kip.
Oh my gosh.
It was a good debate.
Combo
I appreciate you, sir.
breaker. Yeah, that was really good though. And
All
let's see
right.
what the score was. Oh, snap. I think there's just a bunch of haters
I
out
think
here
yeah,
on
they went
God.
on God on that. They don't want that ace. Okay,
It was
might give
11
up
to
there, but
1. I I wouldn't even take that personally on God. That's just the
It's all right.
haterade being sipped. Well,
I think
no,
the
Costello
community
said that
notes thing is what lost everyone.
yeah.
I think everyone heard it and was like, "Oh my god."
oh no, actually, yeah, they did see the community note part, and people were like, "Oh, this guy, look at this guy over here."
Yeah.
All
Hey
right.
man,
Man,
I
okay.
respect your tenacity. Frankly, you're a good man.
Absolutely.
All right.
Yeah, he's been at it all night, so sorry.
True.
More innuendo, but okay. Anyway.
True.
Yeah, so
All right,
let's
moving to the
drop you
stage.
guys back down.
All right.
Thank you.
That'll be it for tonight.
Yeah,
Next
thanks
week,
everybody.
same time, same place. Anything else,
Indeed.
Stephanie? Besides, I mean, unless you want
Just
to give your
go
last minute opinions on this live
just
story
go
that Trace gave us.
follow the news. Follow the news. And
True.
yeah, I'm sure we'll have a maybe some really interesting debate topics next time, such as was the first one even real? And if not, was this one?
Oh my gosh. True. That'd be crazy. Okay.
So
Right.
we'll see. The
See
tournament
you
starts
see
next
you all
week.
next week.
Yeah, we'll see
Okay.
you guys then. Bye, everybody.
All right. Night.
Night.